doing something. Right, hang on, let's... No. Oh, for goodness sake. I got a funny feel. No. Oh, hang on. Right, now it's saying no data.
Weird.
Oh. According to this, it's saying we're live. Alright.
Okay.
Let me see. Nope. It says still waiting. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. No. Ah, damn it. Right, no. Go back. Oh, for crying out loud. It really is going to be one of those evenings, isn't it? Ah! Oh, okay. Yep, we have an excellent connection. And...
Woo!
Hey.
Hang on a second. Are we actually live?
Yep, I've just...
No. I had a feeling this
Alive,
one.
pal!
Okay, folks. We've been having a few technical glitches this evening, but...
Curse those damn gremlins.
Remember the old slogan, folks? If there's no technical faults, it's not SKL.
Indeed.
Yep.
But we are here, and as you know, as I stated last week, this will be the last one at 6 p.m. UK time, because next week is Halloween night, and because I've got time off at work for 2 weeks, SKL will be back at the former time of 9 p.m. And I will be working around the clock to get the Halloween After Dark 2021 special ready. It just means a couple of things. One, I actually have to get my ass up at a reasonable point in the afternoon, because most people know that I'm a night owl now, more so than usual. And it's a sense of getting the script done, getting the voiceovers done, getting the live footage done, and then going to get the editing, get the refining done. Credits is actually a lot easier to do now because I use HitFilm Express for doing the credits, because I love me, Vegas, Studio Platinum, but it's just a lot easier with HitFilm, because whereas with Vegas, version 12 that I've had since about 2012, 2013, if you go to use 3D credits, it gets a little temperamental. So, but I find with HitFilm Express, copy, paste, job done. So that'll be that done. I was able to get the last 2 movie reviews done for Hulktober. So this evening you are going to be treated to the 32nd anniversary review of Trial of the Incredible Hulk and the 31st anniversary of The Death of the Incredible Hulk. So those 2 will be worked in this evening. One I shouldn't really be surprised by in this day and age, even though this particular publisher doesn't give 2 hoots about political correctness. While it is a great thing that Rockstar Games have brought the definitive Grand Theft Auto trilogy to the Xbone and the PS4 with highly detailed graphics, it's still looking as cartoony as ever, it's just not as blocky. Excuse me. Need a little bit of liquid refreshment. Cola Zero Cherry.
Cola.
Our first article this evening Rockstar Games seemingly removes Confederate flag from GTA Trilogy. Let's be fair, we should have seen this coming.
Yeah.
Rockstar Games has seemingly removed the Confederate flag from GTA Vice City for GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. This week, Rockstar finally pulled back the curtain and unveiled GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. I'm surprised they didn't add on the Definitive Edition. The brand spanking new, highly detailed. Like, guys, just call it the Definitive Trilogy. That would have solved so many problems. A new collection comprised of 3 remasters of GTA 3, GTA Vice City, in my opinion, the greatest GTA game ever, and GTA San Andreas. Just a small little tangent. That map was freaking huge in San Andreas.
Yeah. Kind of was.
A new collection comprised of 3 masters. No, we already done it. According to Rockstar Games, content-wise, all 3 games remain the same, but they've heavily updated, particularly in the graphical department. That said, while this is mostly true, it's not entirely accurate, or at least a new discovery cast doubt on the claim. Over on the GTA Reddit page, one eagle-eyed fan pointed out that GTA City Vice City character Phil Cassidy can be spotted in the aforementioned trailer, and his shirt now has a skull on it rather than the Confederate flag. It's unclear why Rockstar made this change, but presumably a change made with modern audiences in mind, or possibly a change made specifically for the trailer. Whatever the case, many think that the change is the right move. However, there's also been some pushback on the removal of the flag. I dislike the Confederate flag in real life, but even I'm against it removing it from the games. The point of it showing the game was to be a satirical parody and make fun of rednecks. And I hear only complaining later. One of the best ways to criticize evil or shitty people is parodying comedy. I can't fault that, because sometimes the best way, as he said, of criticizing it is, to poke fun at it. At the moment of publishing, the change hasn't been confirmed, but it's hard to dispute the screenshot above. If Rockstar Games addresses the Reddit above and the conversation is sparked, we will be sure to update the story accordingly. As always, feel free to hit up comments with your thoughts, or alternatively hit me up on Twitter at Tyler_Fisher_ and let me know over there. Should Rockstar Games remove the Confederate flag from the GTA Trilogy? Let's just call it GTA the Trilogy. Meanwhile, for more coverage on GTA Trilogy on all things gaming, include all latest news, rumors, speculations, click here. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I actually agree with the Reddit user. It's not necessarily. I suppose it is revisionist history, because you're correcting something in the game, saying, "Oh no, this is now historically canon." But it's as the user has said, it's to actually poke fun and mock it, and that's what you do. But it's like, oh, modern people will be offended. It's like, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's Grand Theft Auto. If you're expected to be sensitively and culturally appropriate, you're buying the wrong game. I mean, could you imagine Grand Theft Auto, the gentleman's civilized version? Oh, spit, spit, spot, spot, I've had my car stolen. Oh, confound you, scoundrel, I've made off with your wagon and your blossomed bride. And the Raider's like, fuck no!
Why am I now seeing a future GTA game set in London?
If you recall, they did that once. Grand Theft Auto 1969, with a voiceover that was clearly inspired. No, it's just straight up ripping off from Sir Michael Caine. I get why Rockstar would probably do it, but at the same time, Rockstar in the past were not known for giving a damn, and for them to just sort of pull this, it's like, guys, you're pandering. Don't do that. I mean, I'm probably likely to get it just for Vice City alone, because Vice City is the greatest Grand Theft Auto game ever. Changed my mind. Great cars. The story is clearly a plagiarization of Scarface, but hey, if you're going to plagiarize someone, do it from the best. And the cast. that they had for Vice City from the likes of the late Dennis Hopper, Ray Liotta. There's a the guy who played the lawyer. I think he ended up playing the handler in that TV series. Paul Rosenberg, the character, and of course, Michael Thomas, who ended up playing Ricardo Tubbs in the original Miami Vice. He plays Lance Vance. The shit that character got ripped for in the game. That's your name, Lance? But come, man, I had enough of that in high school. Don't man. And Red's like, oh, please, I could do that better. The cars, the cast, the characters, the story, and the soundtrack alone is what makes that game so iconic. And some of the commercials they have in there where they're this is so dark for for a game, but it's when they advertise this taxidermy, and then they advertise, it goes, coming up next week, grandparents forever. I'm like, oh god, the nightmare fuel with that one. But seriously, I'm glad that game at the very least is making its way to the current gens before the Xbone and the PS4 bow out to the Xbox X and the PS5. Only calls it the Xbox Series X. It's like, dude, I call it the XBX. It's a lot easier when it just flows off the tongue. It's like, I have an Xbox One, I have an Xbone. Because when you're typing in most search engines, they don't refer to it as an Xbox One, they'll just say an Xbone. Keep it simple. Steve, what are your thoughts on, first of all, them supposedly removing the Confederate flag off of the Cassidy character? And what are your thoughts on the definitive trilogy finally making its way to the current gen consoles remastered?
Well, the whole issue of the flag being pulled, I'm kind of in two minds about it. I can see why they would try to do it for the reason that they don't want to offend people, but on the same token, you need to remember that some things need to be remembered, otherwise history has a tendency to repeat itself for those of people who are forgetful. And plus it's always satire is a good form of humor. I mean, just look at how South Park does it most of the time, and it's still popular.
Yep. But then again, as Win has highlighted multiple times, Matt Stone and Trey Parker do not have a filter, and as Raiden has said multiple times, and I love him for it.
As for the GTA trilogy itself, I think it's good to see those games come back, because a lot of people have nostalgia for them, especially for Vice City and San Andreas.
Yeah, especially some of the things you could hack from that, like I think Raiden knows what I'm talking about, where the leading protagonist is able to entertain himself with his lady friends a little at some points in the game.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some very talented hackers out there that how they do this, I'm probably better off not knowing.
Yeah, and now in a couple of months they're gonna have God of War, 2018's God of War to hack and make mods of.
Yeah.
And also, you gotta remember, back in the day, particularly in the early to mid 2000s, GTA Vice City was an absolute. I'm not sure if hotbed or whatever the term you use to describe, this massive area that where you get a lot of activity. The modders that would manage to take certain types of cars from Vice City and be able to put in movie cars. For example, one clever user on Vice City on the PC was able to incorporate the DeLorean from Back to the Future Part 2 and even have the car time travel to previous points in the game.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
And of course, it goes without saying, they even had my main Trans Am in there. They even had Kit with turbo boost and impervious to harm as well, because obviously prior to the season 4 opener, Night of the Juggernaut, Kit's molecular bonded shell protected him, and made him impervious to harm from extreme weight, heat, bullets. Yeah. It was only once they neutralized the shell is where, well, he was left worse than what most cars would look after a demolition derby. So he'd probably look like worse than Roman Pierce's car from Too Fast, Too Furious. So the fact that they're able to do things like that, there are some people out there that are not only have more free time than I do, but there are some extremely talented people, and these people need to be signed up and say, hey, give these people a job, because they're showing you something that not a lot of people, are able to do. So, in fact, let me show you one example. Hang on. GTA Vice City DeLorean mod. Now, hopefully this... Yes! I'm just gonna kill the music a second. Now, hopefully this hasn't been blocked in any country, but this is one of those things you have to see it for yourself.
Whoa.
Right, we're not going to show the whole thing. It's just enough, just to get the gist of it. Right, I'm at 0.
Me
Give me a
too.
moment.
Raiden, you at 0?
Hold on.
Sure.
Alright, I'm at 0.
3, 2, 1. Time circuit's on. Play. Okay, that's nice attention to... Oh, Marty with a chainsaw, good lord.
Oh dear lord.
Okay, I like the fact that they're paying attention to detail with sound effects, so that's a nice touch. I mean, look, even for... This is probably 32-bit graphics. That's pretty impressive.
Not bad.
Alright. I just want to have a quick look. Alright. It's not going to be too long before he gets the time circuit up. They even got Biff's car from the movie. Okay. Whoever worked on this mod, full props. Oh wow, Mustang. And a modern one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Now that's impressive.
God.
I like how everybody just jumps out the way and still gets run over. If that's running off of Xbox graphics, that looks pretty good for Xbox, even by today's standards. Hang on. Oh yeah, he was getting up to 88.
Great Scott!
Not sure why the guy's stopping. Oh, he's inputting time.
Super Rock and Mr. Magic firmly in control. No change in the channel allowed.
Hang on, pussy. Dude, you're not going to be able to time travel around those corners. Oh!
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why he's going around here, unless he's just like doing a runaround. Okay. Yeah, that's not very Marty McFly. I know he had, he owned a gun in Part 3, but then he gave it up. Oh, there's plutonium in the chamber. I like how there's even like the plutonium symbol on the heads-up display. Hang on. Yeah, I don't think so somehow.
Nope.
Hang on. Now, out here, he probably will be able to do that. Because he can get enough of a running start now. Here we go. Yep!
Wow.
Even to the spinning license plate.
Oh boy.
Wait for it. Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. Like I say, there's some talented people out there.
Neat.
Nice.
Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Sean, great Scott. All right. Just to show that, because like I said, I mentioned that they had kit in there. Let me see. We don't want one that's just going to be too... Oh, good lord. They even have a Ghost Rider mod.
Oh yeah, my brother once showed me a video of that.
Let's do, like I say, one last one, and then I will start getting more and more around the table, because we have things to do in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Tommy Vercetti in kit. Actually, no, I don't see any good coming of that with him going around in the Trans Am. But he is in it.
Excuse me, sir, but you're not Michael.
Alright, I'm at 0.
Me too.
Give him a moment. I have to
Sure.
pull it up.
Yeah, you do
Alright,
get,
it was 0.
just
I'm
wait.
at 0 as well.
3, 2, 1, play. Oh wow!
Oh.
Get to the payphone
You
next
even
to
got
the
the
mall in
lights.
Washington.
Yep. Fun little story. That's actually... Oh, you even got the dash. The...
Before Flash FM, your miserable, insignificant...
Oh, wow!
laughable.
Turbo boosted.
You found Flash FM. Notice you've become more popular. Suddenly everyone wants to hang out with you.
Yeah, the scanner is actually a leftover from Battlestar Galactica because Larson liked the silo effect on the silo, so he put that onto Kit.
And now I'm just imagining the water cheat option. Oh, they do have it.
Yep. I see what YouTube has done. They've muted the soundtrack.
Fair point after all.
Yeah. And see... Oh, yeah. Pursuit... No, pursuit mode should be in red, because automatic mode is actually in the yellow.
Oh.
Hang on. Is he going to go for it? Yay! Because this is what they do. If they want to make an authentic Knight Rider game, hire the people that, you know, that do all these modding, because they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Informed debate on the radio.
And Kit is actually following him.
We had Alex Shrub, Callum Grayshaw, and John Florida Hickory discussing safety. I guess you've all got to make up your own minds. Should we be as wet as fish or a corrupt...
What?
Huh?
Enjoy your meal, sir.
Where is it?
Yeah, like I say,
Super special, sir.
car is actually programmed to actually follow you.
Oh.
Lasers and a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Oh no, not super pursuit mode.
Oh.
I know
Aye, aye, aye.
rated 18 rider loves SPM, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
I think this is the part where I came to the big tree.
I almost felt like I was there. You won't get this.
What?
How?
Super special, sir. Enjoy your meal, sir. Super special, sir.
I think that the car model they actually use for Kit, you know, the base model, is actually the one they refer to as the Banshee on that, which is based on the 85 Chevrolet Corvette. Or as what a lot of people like to call the Corvette, the expensive man's Trans Am. The difference between the Trans Am and the Corvette is the Trans Am was actually affordable. Because Corvettes, even an 85 one, they'll set you back a few. And as we found out on Austin's third home title, Hell Yeah, McMahon actually owned a Corvette before Austin filled it in with cement.
Oh, that's right. That did happen.
What a waste of a good car.
At that stage in his life, McMahon...
Afford to buy another one.
Yeah, they actually put that car on display at Titan Towers.
Here's the meal, you go.
Oh yeah, Kit had missiles.
Here's the meal.
Oh no, it's a laser.
Did he have a laser in the show?
He did use the laser during the show, but it was not for weapon purposes. It was more of just being able to get out of tight spots, or in the case of Season 2's Goliath, it was used to actually separate the tractor from the trailer. Okay, that's turbo... Okay, Kit never jumped that high in Turbo Boost.
Woo!
Ugh.
Why am I now getting the image of Kit jumping the shark?
Well, if you've read some fan fiction over the years, there's one time Kit jumped the Rex. And Universal, I still want to see that as a thing. Knight Rider in Jurassic Park. Let's go. lord. Okay, now he's skiing. I don't know what it is about that car, but it still looks futuristic even to this day. And I have a 1/18th scale model of that one. Back when, model casters actually used die-cast metal instead of high-resin plastic. Which to me just sort of cheapens it. But, that's my 2 cents on the matter. Dan's asking, how do I feel about Sora in Smash Bros? I'm indifferent. Can't really say.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if it works for Smash Brothers, great. But I'm not when I say I'm not a huge fan of not Final
Kingdom
Fantasy.
Hearts?
Thank you. I'm not. When I say I'm not a fan of Kingdom Hearts, I don't mean because I don't like it. It's because I never got into it, so I'm indifferent. Back onto the topic. Lids, your thoughts on Cassidy's Confederate flag being supposedly removed from his t-shirt in the remastered trilogy, and what do you think about the idea of the likes of Vice City and San Andreas making its way to the current gen consoles?
I'm gonna go with the second question first. I think it's pretty cool. Again, I've never played any of the GTA games because, again, I didn't have the system for it, and I wouldn't think that my mother would kind of be raising an eyebrow at playing a game where I commit crime and do other questionable things. But again, it's a pretty cool idea that they're remastering it and doing that. The second question, I'm of two minds of it. Because, again, kind of awkward to have such a hateful symbol nowadays, especially considering the culture we live in where everybody's too freaking sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
But if we delete things, we're going to have to delete everything. Because, come on, what are you going to do? Delete all of Wolfenstein and take out the Nazis? That doesn't make any sense. That's the reason you have the joy in the game. You get to punch Nazis. Also, who gives a shit? They're Nazis.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, I'm of two minds of it. It's like, if they're gonna do this, fine, clean it up, freaking sanitize it with your stupid NPC bullshit. But if you're gonna, again, as the saying goes, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just really dumb. But again, we can't control that because this is like Disney Plus scrubbing away every single bad thing that we ever did. I'm like, worse, you expect us to forget that Song of the South exists?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. I see what you're doing, Disney. I'm not going to forget that it exists, but good for you. It's just NPC crap that just is trying to get scrubbed away. It's like, you expect people to forget shit? Alright, fine, whatever. Do what you want.
Fair enough. Same questions to you, Raiden. What do you make of the flag being removed, and your thoughts on the fact the definitive trilogy is making its way to current gen? Raiden?
Got very quiet.
There he is.
What was the question again?
What are your thoughts on the flag being removed from Cassidy's shirt, and what are your thoughts on the definitive trilogy making its way to current gen consoles?
Okay, first things first with that thing. Well, again, at the point, I don't really like to talk about that flag. Well, not really because of, I'm offended by it. It's been talked to death too much.
Fair enough.
Now, second question. Honestly, I can't lie to you. When I finally saw a video on Twitter, okay, they actually updated the graphics a little bit, so I was impressed. Well, I get it. Not really. Honestly, I mean, GTA was kind of sort of my childhood, from playing Vice City to San Andreas, which is the one I played so much. So it'll be cool to see videos of people just playing that with the new graphics and just see how much you see the same stuff but more updated or update. So it's good. It's good. It's really good.
All right. Before we move on to the next subject, what do you guys make of the level of detail those modders put into things like having the DeLorean time travel in the game, and the fact that Kit is there with all his functions and capabilities? Steve, we'll start with you.
I think it's pretty cool. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just amazed by the level of skill that the modders have to be able to take the original game files and then just add bits like that in there. That takes a whole lot of skill.
Yep. Lids?
I think it's pretty cool. Again, they do have a very high attention to detail, and I just think it's really cool. It's like, again, I don't have the skill to do that, but whoever does is like, cool, good, awesome.
Raiden, your thoughts?
Looks great. That's all. I think that's all I'll say. I mean, the DeLorean one was my personal favorite, and how much every detail was just hit. Just hit.
All right. Up next, and I am expecting fangirl squealing from Lids in a moment.
Oh boy.
New Angel series from Iron Man writer announced.
Ooh!
Angel, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer universe's vampire with a soul, returns in a new series in 2022. Boom Studios announced a new 8-part Angel series from Eisner Award-nominated writer Christopher Cantwell, Iron Man, The United States of Captain America, artist Daniel Bayliss, WWE The New Day, The Power of Positivity, Labyrinth, Coronation, with colorist Patricio Del Pesce, Origins, and letterer Becca Carey. This news is the latest Buffyverse announcement from Boom after revealing the upcoming post-apocalyptic Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer series. Oh, okay, that's an intriguing idea, like Buffy's the last ever Slayer. Okay.
Interesting.
In Cantwell and his collaborators' twist on the Angel formula, Angel lives a double life as a monster fighter by day and the star of a television series by day, co-starring none other than his partner, Cordelia Chase. Okay.
Oh no! Okay.
I love writing character ensemble stories about seemingly random individuals who suddenly find themselves trapped in the orbits of others. Angel has been one of the best ensembles ever to grace the TV screen, and theirs is a story about family of choice, said Cantwell in a press release. When Boom approached me, I leapt at the chance to honor and celebrate the original series in a fresh way, pulling on some loose threads and weaving new ones. It takes all the characters and plays 52 card pick 'em up with them, reshuffling their roles and identities into a literal alternate universe that looks and feels like Angel, but is also something else entirely. And there's a quick screenshot of Cordelia shooting and Angel reading a script. It does kind of remind me of how David Boreanaz's version would dress, even though he's taking visual cues from Michael Knight from the original pilot, because red turtleneck jumper with a black leather jacket. Bayliss adds, I love what Boom Studios has done with this series, and especially what our incredible writer Chris Cantwell is doing with this story. Here you will see all your favourite characters in a slightly different reality, and yet they maintain all their core and humour in a story that is highly entertaining with unexpected turns. This has given me the opportunity as an artist to represent great action scenes, creepy creatures, and demons. But what I love most is that Chris also goes a little deeper with the characters and the interactions between them, with more personal situations with which we can relate more closely with the characters. For me, these are the heart and soul of the series, and they have been my favourite scenes when putting ink on the page. Angel has always been a contradiction of good versus evil, spotlight versus shadows, and tortured past versus redemptive future, which is what makes Chris and Daniel's take on the version of this iconic vampire so delightful as they imagine a universe where angels' identities and worlds collide. It's all magical hijinks, mysterious big bads, and tons of secrets in this fresh new take on the characters you know and love from Angel. What do you think? Are you excited about the new Angel series? Let us know in the comments below. Well, considering, it's the in vogue thing to essentially either continue continuity in comic book form or to go down like an alternate timeline just to be able to give fans their fix. I'm intrigued by this idea because it's taking Angel from being a vampire detective to actually being a TV star, but also still being, the protector of the innocent at night. If it's able to still have that quirky humor that the series was known for, but without certain pieces of negativity attached to it, we've given our thoughts on that particular individual. Let's move on from it. Yeah, I say go for it. And to our resident Buffyverse expert, your 2 cents on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like my internet connection kind of died on me. So is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I actually kind of like this. I love what Boom Studios is doing. It's not going basically retread the entire series. It's like giving it like its own flavor, and I do kind of enjoy that. Same with thing that they did with Power Rangers. So it's like I think it's fun. It's fine. Again, I don't hate the changes they made to the character because, again, you can play with the character as much as you want because, again, he wasn't always serious all the time. He had his fun moments. So if you can play with that, more power to him. It's like, it's fun, it's interesting. And again, I love what Boom Studios is doing. It's very, very cool. And if I had extra cash on me, I would definitely pick up a few issues just to see if what they do with it.
All right. Just a quick readout. Gwyn says she won't be here next week because of events. Not a problem.
Oh, it's okay.
Steve, your thoughts?
Well, it's good to see that they're doing more with Angel in the comics. Can't say too much about it because I didn't watch much of Angel back in the day, so looking forward to it. So hopefully they'll be able to do a good take on Angel.
All right. To our own resident J. August Richards as Gunn from Angel. Raiden, your thoughts?
Really big into the Angel series, but hey, one time we get the one. I respect it.
You have to speak up a little bit, Raiden. You were coming in a bit quiet there.
Oh shit, my bad. Okay, all right. Like I said, in loud mode. Anyway, like I said, it's definitely cool to see. Once again, not really a big Angel guy, but as long as the fans of that franchise get what they want, hey, I respect it.
All right. I'm gonna have to quell the music for a second because we're gonna be touching upon a rather serious issue, and this concerns a WWE Hall of Famer. This is coming from the Metro. WWE legend Jim Ross shares graphic photo of potential skin cancer issue as he undergoes scan.
Oh no.
Yeah, I saw that.
All Elite Wrestling announcer Jim J.R. Ross has revealed he's been dealing with a possible skin cancer issue for the past year. The 69-year-old veteran broadcaster earned his reputation as one of the best of all time in WWE before signing with rival company AEW in April 2019, shared a graphic photo on Twitter and gave fans an update on his health. He wrote, "Been dealing with this over a year, potential skin cancer issue, CAT scan today, hopeful for good results, staying positive." Wrestling fans and the whole industry are rallying behind him, with former WWE tag team The Bollywood Boys writing, "Best wishes, Jim." One fan replied, "Oh my gosh, that looks painful and scary. I hope you get good results today. This must have been very uncomfortable and worrying as you've been dealing with it for the last year. All the love and positive thoughts to you. Today, you've got this." Another tweeted, "You're one hell of a fighter, Jim. We're all remaining positive for you." Towards the end of 2018, JR had underwent surgery for skin cancer as he had a little removed from his shoulder. He said at the time, "I'm getting a little skin cancer surgery on Thursday. I'm having some skin cancer removed from my shoulder. There's just a little bit of it left, but you want to get all of it. I'm getting that cut out on Thursday." Speaking on his own Grilling JR podcast at the time, he also reflected on Roman Reigns giving up his Universal Championship just days earlier as he had battled leukemia. Sometimes in our lives in wrestling, when we think we've seen everything, something comes along once or twice in a career, maybe once in a lifetime, that creates an event or a moment that can't be replicated with auditions and scripts and rehearsals and walkthroughs, he said. The fact that WWE allowed Roman to come to the ring and make this announcement in his own words, and I assure you, they were his own words, I thought was very admirable. Reigns returned in February 2019, revealed his leukemia was in remission, and he's gone on to become the biggest star in WWE. Now, for discretion reasons, I'm not going to show the picture in question because I think that's best saved for times where it's a little more appropriate. I'm not saying that what JR is going through is inappropriate. I'm just saying for visual purposes, there are some things that could disturb people. All I'm going to say to Jim Ross is this. I hope you pull through. Cancer is not anything to be sniffed at. I should know this because I've lost at least 3 people in my family to this disease, and it rocks the whole family. Probably as much as the person who suffers with it, but I think what some people, how do I word this? I think what some people get misconstrued is when someone says, "Oh, cancer doesn't affect you if you're not the one who's having it." Well, it does because it's, affecting people on a mental and emotional level. Because if, when you have, say, like your mother or one of your grandparents that's battling it, it changes your whole perspective because your thought is, what can I do to help this person more? And, if you're the one suffering with it, you change your perspective of, all right, what can I get done today? Because you learn to start reprioritizing. It's like, the things that I put off yesterday, I'm going to get done today. And it's actually a very positive way of thinking, even if you don't suffer with the disease, because it's always helpful and positive just to have a very decent grip on what your priorities and what you need to get done, because too often we take our time for granted, where we put things off, and then you get to that point where it's like, I would have preferred to have gotten that done. And, at least with skin cancer, because it's, to my understanding of this, and if there's any physician, scientist that's listening to this, please do correct me. My understanding is, if skin cancer is caught early enough, you can just remove it off the skin, and provided it's been caught early enough, you don't have to go through any chemotherapy or any other type of treatment just to further remove it. So, that is my understanding of it. If I'm wrong in that assessment, and if enough data to correct me, then please do correct me in the comments. But while JR has never been the best competitor in WWE, I think it is like his total match sum is probably like 4 or 5 matches, one of which was him and Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the late China, and at the time the then World Wrestling Federation champion Triple H in the run-up to No Mercy 99. And JR, like I say, he's not the most technically sound competitor, but with the way he delivers his commentating with such raw passion and such analytical knowledge, from moves to the competitors' history and their track records, he has the will of a fighter, and I think he'll pull through. And the fact that he's been staying on top of this and catching this early enough, I have the firm belief that he'll pull through, and I don't think he'll laugh about it once he gets to the other side of the road to recovery, but he'll definitely smile, look back and smile and say, I made it. I pulled through. So, JR, my thoughts are with you. You have my support. Go beat this thing into submission. And, think of it as think of it as if Austin was fighting it. He'll open up a can of whoop ass on it and stomp a mud hole in it and walk it dry, as JR would often say. Although I would say some of his more iconic lines, but I think some lines might get looked upon as maybe slightly inappropriate or not politically correct. Because this line might get taken the wrong way these days. And I'm not going to say that out aloud just in case.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that line might get taken the wrong way today. But, yeah. JR, you're easily the best announcer WWE has ever seen. Joey Styles came a very close second during his very short reign as a main roster announcer during JR's absence in late 05-06, but that was because JR had to go off and have surgery. Mm-hmm. Which, typical McMahon, he made fun of it. It's like, really, dude?
Mm-hmm. Of course he did.
Including, the worst heel turn ever from Linda McMahon. It's like, Linda McMahon turns heel and nobody cares.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think YourTheManNowDog.com highlighted that, with the, cliche bum 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 bum.
It's like, it's like that meme. Oh no. Anyway.
Yes. So yeah. Hopefully in 6 months to a year's time, we'll get the announcement JR is clear. That's that. Lids, your thoughts? Liz, did you get cut off again?
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You got cut off. I'm sorry. I think it's like hearing that news. It actually is kind of sad. But again, like you said, he's gonna fight through this. Like, he's not gonna just lay down and die. He hasn't done it before when it comes to his other medical crises. He's not gonna do it now. So it's gonna be a tough battle, but he's gonna come out of this okay. Just keep him in your prayers and he'll be okay. Just that's all I can say. I can't really put anything else to it. So,
Raiden, your thoughts? Raiden, you there?
More tech troubles.
We apologise, folks. We seem to be having trouble keeping Raiden in. Raiden, you there?
uh-oh.
Ground control to Major Raiden.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be one of those weeks, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Just reading out a couple of comments. Sean Retro says, "Don't lose to it," and Dan says, "I'll keep Jara in my prayers." I think he'll appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Raiden.
Oh.
We're not doing very well here, are we?
No. And it's not Halloween yet.
No. We're having if we're having interruptions because of disruption of service this week, I shudder to think what it's going to be like next week. Ooh, it's all because of me. I'm Elman. I'm going to be ruining your Halloween. Why? We're going to watch the best of Heath later? Oh no, that's safe for Christmas.
Oh no.
No, for Halloween, I'm going to be a kind serene, and I'm even going to dress up as an angel. Elman, never ever do that.
That is certainly playing against type.
Ooh, I could just cosplay as Oni. Elman, why the hell would you do that?
So I can steal your wife. Oh hell no.
Raiden, are you there?
I'm tagging him in there just to see if I can.
You might need to. It might be a case that you might have to exit and then come back in.
Might be. The other possibility is you could be AFK.
Yeah.
Could be.
There is that.
Alright, we'll press on for now and get his thoughts on his thoughts on JR's skin cancer as and when we're able to, because we can only delay for so long, folks.
Yeah.
It's a similar situation whenever Kaiji would drop in late, and we're like in the middle of a review screening. It's like, oh, we have to start again.
Like Christmas last year.
Yes. On to the next article. Is a World War Hulk movie in development at Marvel Studios? The rumor mill has the internet buzzing after it was reported that a live-action World War Hulk movie is in development. The Hulk could finally be getting his next solo movie, but 14 years too late. If recent rumors turn out to be true, according to a new report from Geeks Worldwide, a new Hulk movie is in the works at Marvel Studios with the working title World War Hulk. The report adds that production is slated to start in late 2022 and will likely be first set up by the events of the She-Hulk series on Disney+. This would theoretically mean Marvel Disney acquired back the rights from Universal Pictures to develop new Hulk movies. Yeah, because the deal was Marvel have the movie rights to the character, but Universal still get the distribution rights and first refusal to a movie. That's how I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
The report... Right. At this point, there is no verification from Marvel or Disney that the World War Hulk is happening. So it's best to take the report with a grain of salt this time. Even so, the concept of a new Hulk movie, especially with the World War Hulk angle, has a lot of Marvel fans intrigued. The title was trending on social media with fans expressing excitement for the new Hulk movie, which will presumably take inspiration from the comic book of the same name, and which Thor Ragnarok actually incorporated quite a few elements from it. Bill Bixby played Dr. Banner. Lou Ferrigno played a CGI-free Hulk in the 1970s TV series The Incredible Hulk. The green superhero was later brought to the big screen by director Ang Lee in 2003 with Eric Bana in the role. Later, Edward Norton played a new incarnation of Dr. Banner in 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which brought the character into the MCU. Norton would part ways with the franchise and the role was recast with Mark Ruffalo, though Hulk hasn't had any of his own solo live-action movies since, and apparently Ed Norton is still roasting them to this day. Seriously, Norton, you need to move on, man. Just saying. There have been recent acknowledgements of the Incredible Hulk. Tim Roth reprised his role as the Abomination, and for a special appearance in Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. There was also a post-credit scene involving Hulk after the movie credits. It's also well known that a She-Hulk series is currently in development for Disney+, which will bring Mark Ruffalo back to reprise the role of Bruce Banner. It's set for release in 2022, and I've seen what is supposedly the trailer for She-Hulk, and Tatiana Maslany, she looks the part, and how you doing? Here's the thing. That girl's mid-30s, she looks like she's barely in her late 20s, because she is gorgeous. Mark Ruffalo has also made it clear he'd love to star in his own solo Hulk movie for the MCU. Last year, the actor opened up about the possibility in an interview with Variety. Ruffalo said that he'd love to star in a prequel of sorts, showing what the Hulk has been up to in between the other Marvel movies after the events of The Incredible Hulk. There's an idea that I think could be really interesting. We've never really followed him into his life. He's always been kind of off on the side. He's like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Avengers. It'd be interesting to fill in all the blanks about what happened to him between these movies. Of his upcoming She-Hulk appearance, Ruffalo teased, there's nothing completely out of place where it's a done deal with Hulk getting his own movie. There's some talk of having Hulk Banner show up in She-Hulk. If we come up with something good, that would be really interesting. Right now, that's about it. That's all there is on the table. Whether the rumors are true or not, let's hope the fan interest helps Marvel and Disney let them know that it's time for Hulk to get his own solo movie again. This news was reported by Geeks Worldwide. Well, it's like the article says, it's been too long since the last Hulk solo movie, and it'd be nice just to further Banner's story and just to give Mark Ruffalo something useful to do other than doing Avenger team-up movies, because that's all he seems to do in the MCU. It'd just be useful if Universal weren't so difficult to deal with. Then, who knows? But, I'd be interested to see what they do. All I ask is, stay true to the source material and don't make it over-the-top jokey like they've done with the last few Avenger movies. I'd actually like to see more of a direction like they did with the 2008 Hulk movie, where it was basically an homage to the live-action TV series, but with just a much larger budget, larger scale, and being able to do things with that movie that they couldn't do with the TV series. So yeah, if they do get a World War Hulk, yeah, I'd be interested to see where they take it. And like I say, be true to the comic. Don't do the comedic spin because that's been done to death. Steve, we'll start with you.
It'd be interesting to see a new Hulk movie, although considering where they left off Hulk at the end of Endgame, bandaged up and in the Professor Hulk persona, it'd be kind of it would be
Redundant.
it would have well, it's just the way of how they would end up doing a World War Hulk movie. I mean, sure, we've got this She-Hulk series, and maybe that could lead to it. It just needs to be carefully planned out rather than just rushed into willy-nilly because they think, ooh, this may be good for a movie without any clear emphasis or nods to suggest where that story was heading.
All right. Liz, your thoughts?
I'm not sure. Like, again, having a Hulk movie would be pretty cool. But the thing about that is, yeah, where do you go with the Hulk after the whole Professor Hulk thing? Because, spoilers for Shang-Chi, the post-credit scene showed a normal-looking Bruce Banner, not Professor Hulk. I'm like, huh, you're telling me that he actually legitimately took Black Widow's death harder than we all thought? Because the only recollection that he was upset is that bench he threw, and that's it. And then, like, that little exchange he and Steve had at the end of the movie. But is that what's going to trigger the Hulk being all pissed off and going on a rampage or whatever? I don't know how they're going to do this because they already did the whole stuff with Planet Hulk in Thor Ragnarok. I'm not sure what they're going to do here. Are they actually going to have some kind of creature or being go after, or do they think that Bruce is a threat now? Because again, Tony's not here to defend him. Steve isn't here to defend him, technically, because he's an old man and he can't do that. None of the other people are going to be able to defend him. And plus, with the whole events of WandaVision, people are scared of superpowered beings, more specifically the Avengers.
Not to mention, sorry to interrupt, but Thunderbolt Ross is still out there as well.
Yes, he is. And the rumor is that what they're going to do for Captain America 4 is have Sam and Bucky, I'm assuming Bucky's going to be in the movie, face off against the Thunderbolts in the movie. So I'm of two minds about that because again, it could either be that or Thunderbolt Ross becomes the Hulk, the Red Hulk. You don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how they are going to adapt this when you've adapted part of the story in Thor Ragnarok. So again, I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, what storytelling they're trying to do. I'm like, oh god, it's a hodgepodge of a mess they're just trying to throw together, and I feel really scared. So we'll see what happens, but I'm a little nervous. That's all I can say.
All right. Move on to another topic, just to sort of try and stall for time, because like I say, folks, I do not know where Raiden has gone, but you know, I'll just message him real brief. Let's see. Yeah, because something real screwy's going on tonight. I'm not 100% sure what. If he doesn't show back up in, say, I don't know, another 15 to 20 minutes, we can only presume. When I say something of importance has happened his end, I don't mean to say that, you know, he's been pulled away for like dinner. That if there's something like that requires his attention and the importance level is above this, then we'll just label it as IRL and say nothing more about that. But I'm hoping he does show back up, because usually
he's okay.
Yeah, because usually he says why he's stepping away, like he's going to use the facilities, he's gone to get food. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, we'll push on. Alright, let's pop that one in. The Rookie bans live guns on set following deadly rust accident.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
No live guns will be permitted on the set of ABC's action drama series The Rookie after Helena Hutchins was killed on the set of Rust. Yeah, that was tragic. It's given me reminders of what happened with Brandon Lee on The Crow. I think it was a case of the guy didn't know the safety was off, and it was just one of those how to say this, it's just a tragic accident, and the stunt coordinator probably felt so bad because it's like he killed him, but it was one of those, there was no malice involved. It was just a horrible accident. Changes are already being made in show business after the tragic death of filmmaker Helena Hutchins. On Thursday, Hutchins was in New Mexico working as a cinematographer for the Alec Baldwin Western movie Rust. Police are currently investigating how exactly this came to be, but the prop gun given to Baldwin for a scene was reportedly loaded with a live round that was discharged while filming. Hutchins was struck and died from her injuries, with director Joel Souza also wounded. After the news, the Rookie showrunner Alexi Hawley decided that this was not going to happen on the set of the TV series. He informed ABC executives that he would no longer be using quarter or half loads to the new episode moving forward. In previous seasons, the Rookie mostly used CGI to create muzzle flashes, but there were sometimes live weapons used on big outside set pieces. That practice has now been banned, as outlined in a memo given to staff by Hawley on Friday, which was published by THR. The tragic events in New Mexico yesterday have shaken us all, and our hearts go out to the friends and family of Helena Hutchins and Joe Souza. The memo reads, as of today, it is now a policy on The Rookie that all gunfire on set will be airsoft guns with CGI muzzle flashes in post. There will be no more live weapons on the show. The safety of our cast and crew is too important. Any risk is too much risk. As always, if you ever feel unsafe or witness anything that concerns you, please don't hesitate to report it. My door is always open. It remains to be seen how much the Rust tragedy will affect other movie and television productions, but The Rookie isn't the only one to move forward with big changes. Eric Kripke, the showrunner of The Boys on Amazon, has similarly said there will be no live guns with blanks on any more of his sets. He's also called for other filmmakers to join him. Someone hurt or killed on my set is my worst nightmare. Sending love to Helena Hutchins' family at Jansen Ackles, cast and crew of Rust. I'm so sorry. In her memory, a simple, easy pledge. No more guns with blanks on my sets ever. We'll use VFX muzzle flashes. Who's with me? Alec Baldwin was highly distraught after the tragic incident and has addressed with what happened with a statement released online. The actor wrote, "There are no words to convey my shock and sadness regarding the tragic accident that took the life of Helena Hutchins, a wife, mother, and deeply admired colleague of ours. I'm fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred, and I am in touch with her husband, offering my support to him and his family. My heart is broken for her husband, their son, and all who knew and loved Helena. The incident is being treated as an accident and no criminal charges have been filed at this time, but the investigation is still ongoing. It's reminding many of a similar incident with Brandon Lee during the filming of The Crow in 1993, and the late actor's family has also spoken out about the accident. This news comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, to address, what happened on the Rust, it's just a tragic accident. I'd like to think there was no malice involved with this, and it's just simply one of those, someone just made an accidental error, and it's just one of those situations. You do something like if it's routine, like you're setting up safety equipment, you go on and do it and think, yep, this is fine, it's routine, you do it without thinking about it. But something clearly went wrong, and like Alex said, my thoughts and my prayers go out to Helena and her family, because the whole point of making a movie is to create something that's memorable and fun, and it should be a joyous, memorable time working on the set. And it's when events like this happen, it can taint a project. Even though The Crow is a very iconic superhero movie, you got to be thinking that the family of Brandon Lee look at it from a bittersweet perspective. It's like, yeah, this was our family member's best performance, but it was his last one. As for the ABC going ahead and having no live ammunition on the set, or even blanks, I think that's the right thing going forward. Because sometimes you learn through the mistakes of others. You learn what not to do through, when I say their example, I mean in the sense of an event that was clearly an accident, but it's something that you learn from, and you just learn to move forward with it. So, to the set and crew of The Boys, I think they're absolutely in the right to have no live or blank ammunition on set. Same thing with The Rookie. I mean, some will say, yeah, I can hear somebody saying this later. It's like, they're using CGI muzzle for the gunfire. It's like, did you not remember what happened on the Rust? So, yeah, I think this is the most appropriate and respectful action to go forward with, because, yeah, Aaron's just said, MJ, isn't it weird that both Brandon Lee and his father Bruce Lee both died in the middle of making movies? Yeah, there is a little bit of irony there, but it's like I say, it's the complete right. It's completely the most appropriate and the right decision to go forward, because you want to maintain safety. And I think once people get into the habit of this is how it is going forward, afterwards it'll become the norm, and people just accept it for what it is. So, I have major sympathy for the Hutchins family, and I also, offer support for, what Alec Baldwin's going through, because imagine how he feels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those situations where you're involved with it, but, you had no intent or no malice with it. It's where you may have caused the accident, but you were not trying to cause it, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Steve, your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's a tragedy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. For the most part, accidents on set can happen, but when they result in a loss of life, especially when it was something that nobody could have predicted, that makes it even more tragic.
Yeah.
And I think moving forward, especially when it comes to filmmaking, every loss of life just means that we learn a little bit more about the filmmaking process and making sure that steps are taken to avoid the same thing happening again. To her family, my thoughts are with them at this time. And to Alec Baldwin, my thoughts are with him as well.
Yeah. Lids, your thoughts on the matter?
Honestly, when will Hollywood learn that they need to take more precautions to protect these actors or anybody on the crew or acting talent? Do we not learn from Brandon Lee? Do we not learn from that? To the point where the man who accidentally shot him, I believe his name was Michael Madsen. I could be wrong. I don't know, but he suffered a lot of guilt over what happened to Brandon, and it wasn't even his fault. Imagine being Alec Baldwin in that sense. I don't particularly like Alec Baldwin. I think he's an egotistical prick when he's acting like it. But even he doesn't deserve the kind of guilt he's probably feeling right now. He accidentally killed a person, not meaning to. It wasn't his fault. It was a faulty system that doesn't look after anybody on any stage talent or camera talent. You need to protect these people. They are relying on you to protect them. Again, it just feels like they don't pay attention. How many bodies do we have to put in front of you to realize, yeah, maybe we need to change things? That's why I'm okay with what they're doing with their saying these sets are not going to have these guns or real guns with blanks anymore. Because guns with blanks are still guns with ammunition. Doesn't matter if they're not live. You can still hurt somebody. Or in this case, kill somebody. I feel like there should be more steps taken. And if you're anybody complaining about the fact that, oh, you're being pussies, the CGI muscle. You ever been shot? Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up. Sit there and enjoy the entertainment and sit there and like it. Because if you want to keep enjoying these actors on camera, they can't entertain you if they're dead. Okay? Okay. But I'm just glad that they're kind of taking better precautions, but I wish the rest of the industry would get it through their skulls that we have to look after people, not just actors as well. Anybody, crew, stage person. Imagine if that had been just a random extra, just a random crew person walking around, accidentally get shot, and they weren't even doing anything.
Exactly.
It just I feel like the system should change. It's gonna take some time, but again, the system can change. At least I hope it can.
Yeah. Alright, I think we're going to go on to the presumption that Raiden is having technical issues his end. So
Jeez.
It's inconvenient for all those involved whenever we do podcasts, because Steve and Liz can attest to this. They've had times where their internet connections can be inconsistent at times, and Raiden was complaining about his connection playing up, and you know, I've messaged him. I've even tagged him on Discord, and I'm not getting anything because it says he is online, but he's not responding. So I'm only going to go on the basis of, you know, Discord's having technical issues. Oh, hang on. I saw his flash up a second.
Hello?
Are you there, Raiden?
Raiden, are you there? I actually saw your icon flash.
Might have just been error.
Maybe.
He might need to, if he is still there, he might need to exit the call and then come back in.
Raiden, if you're able to hear this, exit and come back in.
I don't think you can hear us.
Oh, no.
No. That is really weird. Alright. Yeah, because like I say, it's not like him to, like, he wouldn't, you know, ever go saying, unexpectedly, to walk off without reason, because usually when, you know, he goes AFK, he'll go and say, I'm just going to go get dinner, or, you know, sorry, you know, one of my family members called me to see something. So he's usually very informative, so I'm just going to put it down to as either technical difficulties or, I don't know. But then again, like I said, he was complaining of difficulties this evening anyhow, so yeah. Sean Retro says getting shot by a paintball hurts as well. It does, exactly. But it's not likely to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, depending on where it hits you, though.
That too. Yeah. That too. Okay.
Take one paintball to the throat, and you might have some problems there.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to attempt to lighten the mood now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea right about now.
Okay. It's the beginning of the last two of the Bill Bixby movies.
Alrighty, I'm at 0.
I am as well. Steve?
Yep.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, I pushed the wrong one. Yeah, I wanted the.
Oh, death.
Yeah, I wanted the.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, wait a minute.
I see what I've done. Alright, 2 seconds. Because for some bizarre reason, yeah, hang on, let me just reload that. Yeah, I did think, hang on, that doesn't look right. Alright, I'll, just get the shareable link a second. Yeah, that didn't look right. Alright, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's a little premature.
We're already going to the death. Okay.
Okay, I'm at 0-0.
Same here. Yeah, that's a little fudge up on my behalf, folks. That's my bad. Oops. 3, 2, 1, play. It's not SKL if they're not botches either. The movie begins atypical of the Hulk series, with David wandering from place to place, keeping a low profile, performing odd jobs for hire, just so he can have some level of normalcy. At this point, it's been a year since the events of the previous movie, and he's practicing self-restraint after being pushed into a ditch by a less than friendly co-worker and then thinks better of it, because he knows the Hulk can break this guy in two quicker than Bane to Batman. Banner's just minding his own business, and then he gets in between two jewelry robbers hounding an innocent woman.
You garbage, get off me!
I guess it wasn't your style.
Wow. Look, I appreciate that the actor is doing his best to make this character a complete scumbag, but if this were filmed today, no, this wouldn't happen. Now with the other guy, he's not saying get out to be a jerk, he's kinda telling Banner to 86 for his own good, because his partner in crime, literally and figuratively, has dealt with his crap once too often and he's seen how this movie ends before. And let's think about this for a second. If he could step out of the fourth wall setting and see how this movie pans out, he probably could write it better. Just saying. The first Hulk out comes within the first 15 minutes, and it's not long before the robbers get a sense of irony in Hulk laying waste to them. One glaring detail I have to point out is that Banner is clean shaven as the Hulk, whereas before the change he's sporting a full black beard with silver trim. For the best clean shaven results, use gamma radiation. Hulkette, the best a Hulk can get. Warning, may cause physical transformations in ripping your wardrobe and gaining consciousness in strange places and have no idea what you did. Or you were possibly drunk. Well, that would give the Walk of Shame a whole new meaning. Thinking it too, when. What this comes down to is Banner being mistaken as the assailant while Beavis and Butthead get off scot-free. Now, for a movie that is a continuation of the TV series with cleverly written, psychological, dramatic stories, I find it ludicrous that the cops would mistake Banner, an average height of a man of 6 feet with natural skin color, could be mistaken for a 7-foot, green muscular Goliath that only talks in grunts and growls. Either that or he was auditioning for Batman later. The way Matt Murdock is portrayed by Rex Smith is one of the more reprising aspects of the script, with the way he is able to detect if someone is dishonest courtesy of his heightened hearing as Daredevil. He knows that Banner is hiding something and already knows that Ellie Mendez was lying in the hospital. I'd imagine this guy would be very useful in a lie detector test with Hulk Hogan. Of course you can. Daredevil makes his first appearance, and although it's a very basic all-black outfit with the mask covering the eyes, it does have the character using a built-in sonar, knowing when his opponent is going to strike, which at the same time leaves him open to ultrasonic frequencies that debilitate him at the web. The fight scene choreography looks amateur at best, with the heel nurse getting shock treatment therapy for her troubles. And the only trial part of this movie is Banner having a nightmare, hulking out, proving to Matt Murdock why he wouldn't be able to stand trial as he cannot deal with the stress and transforms before the fright of the lawyers, the judge, and the jury, and one true believer. On a side note for a moment, Stanley, we love you, we miss you. Thank you for giving us the Hulk. This then cuts to a real Hulk out, and he makes his escape, leaving his cellmate pondering his own getaway. Let's be honest, who wouldn't? When it comes down to the brass taxes, this is more about Daredevil versus the Kingpin guest starring the Hulk than it is about Banner trying to go about his business. About the only redeeming aspects are Bixby,
that's how they
Ferrigno,
ended
and
it.
Smith. The rest of this just feels bloated, glacial pacing, and unnecessary. Like his last outing as Dr.
Marvel's
Banner,
Netflix,
Bixby
you
sells
won
his
now.
performance in spades as the fugitive scientist on the run. This performance is of a more withdrawn Banner, desperately trying to keep to himself courtesy of his affliction. He gives a great performance as Banner where he learns to embrace his gifts, just as Murdock embraced his. Lou didn't really have much to do this time as the titular character, as the story seemed to be focusing more on Kingpin and Daredevil. I will say this. For the few scenes that Ferrigno is in, he gives great physical and non-verbal acting, especially during the first transformation with how expressive he is with his eyes on the assailant. Aside from Bixby and Ferrigno, he was one of the few cast members who was actually trying. He plays a blind man convincingly with the physical discipline of not looking the other characters in the eye, and speaks as Murdoch with a very well-spoken and confident tone that is up there with Ben Affleck and Charlie Cox. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. When your acting skills and emotional display levels are on par of WWE's Eva Marie, then you're not going to be winning an Emmy nor Oscar anytime soon. Unlike previous Hulk women cast members, Dubois is just dull and bland as Mendez. Lee Purcell was good in the previous movie as Banner's love interest, whereas here, Marta's just not selling anything.
Please go. Please just go.
Rhys Davis was one of the other guest actors that put in a great performance. He has this wonderful, charming, and regal and eloquent cadence in his voice that makes him sound like a philosophical dignitary.
We can turn this setback to our advantage. I want the Mendez woman taken alive. Daredevil will come after her. And then we will have him. We will have the destruction of him on video.
You know what? For a heel, he's charming to watch. And the late Stan Lee makes his very first cameo on film as a member of the jury. So, contrary to what some may say, 2000's X-Men was not his first movie cameo appearance. Unlike the last movie, some aspects of the transformation sequences from Hulk to Banner don't hold up, even though it's a simple case of Step 1, white eyes. Step 2, early stage of face paint. Step 3, clothes rip. Step 4, replace Bixby with Ferrigno. And finally, Step 5, Ferrigno removing shirt and putting smiles on female audiences everywhere. One transformation scene that does look cheap is the first, when you see stop motion of Banner's feet ripping out of his shoes, as opposed to before where you would see the shoes splitting on film. The sound effects are equally jarring, with hearing Hulk's grunts and growls sounding like stock sound effects, like they belong in an Uwe Boll movie.
Not Uwe Boll.
Lance Rubin composed the score, and if you were under the impression that this movie would have learnt from its predecessor, then you're sadly mistaken. The score is tinnier and even more irritating than before. I appreciate that this is a late 80s TV movie and there were certain restrictions with regards to technology, availability, and finances. I get that. But when you had great scores from the TV series that at this point were 10 years young, and they are superior without even trying, then this movie was setting itself up for failure before it even began. The Lonely Man theme by Joe Harnell is in use at the beginning and end, and it's the only saving grace as far as the music is concerned. Though I would argue that if you were able to screw this up, then you're a different level of untalented. Although the TV movie sequel garnered high ratings, it came under criticism for the lack of Hulk scenes and for the title being misleading when the only trial scene was a dream sequence. In a retrospective review of the movie, Norinda Flora of the Radio Times referred to it as a teen action fair with all the hallmarks of an idea that has run out of steam. Sad thing is, she's not wrong. The movie was followed with the 1990 TV movie The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which saw Bixby's final appearance as Dr. Banner. Well, folks, dependent on your viewpoint, the movie has been enjoyed on DVD, VHS, and TV since 1989. I'm MJ Knight, and we witnessed the trial of the Incredible Hulk. Yep. I actually cut this from the thing because I found out Marta Dubois actually passed away 13 years ago, and I thought, ooh, might not be a good idea to put that in. The Joker, Mr. Only Rikaku, and Mighty the Tarrison. The Mighty Tarrison, I am the Mighty Joker, Tarrison Rikaku. Wait, all three of those guys doing the fusion. Oh, wait, what? Sweet Lord above. No, so Tarrison would fuse with the Joker, and then Tarrison Joker fuses with Oni Rikaku.
Is it possible to even do a fusion dance with 3 people?
I'm going to fire the cannon and make you give me loads of bits on twitch.tv/Onirakaku now /Onirakaku Joker Tarrison. Fire the cannon. Ooh, Betsy.
Oh, God.
Have fun with you on Twitch.
No.
Oh.
And then I'm going to go watch AEW and mock the Young Bucks. I am Joker Tarrison Rakaku.
Mock the Young
Liz is
Bucks,
gonna
that's
lose her
something he would
mind,
do.
and Wynn's like, I don't know whether to enjoy this lovely ham pie you've created or have several questions. I think I'm having several questions at the moment, just the fact that there be a tri-fusion dance. That's definitely going in the bloopers. Well, folks, dependent on your viewpoint with this,
I think it's more of a case of,
the movie
what
has
have
been
you
enjoyed
done?
on TV. Hang on. Well, folks, dependent on your viewpoint with this, the movie has. I'm the incredible Gamma Rabbit. Wabbit! I'm going to hunt you down and put you in the National Enquirer and make up ridiculous stories about you, because that's what we tabloid reporters do. Bugs Bunny don't like Elmer reporter. Bugs Bunny smash. Bugs Bunny go to eat carrots and how the heck did I end up here? Okay. Yeah, not one of your better jokes.
Oh dear.
Well, folks, dependent on your viewpoint, the movie has been enjoyed on TV. Well, folks, dependent on
I
your
have a
viewpoint,
problem
the movie has been enjoyed on TV, VHS,
remembering my
and
lines
DVD
short term. If I've done it over long term, it's
1989.
fine.
I'm MJ Knight, and we witnessed.
But this is why the
trial
camera segments are just shortened to like
Incredible
short bits. Nope.
Yeah.
The rise of Gamma Rock.
Hey, back, Raiden?
There you go. Oh, there you are, Raiden.
We're worried about you.
Oh, yeah.
What happened, man?
I blame that on That's why I'm
Yeah, you kind of conked out as we were trying to get to JR's skin cancer diagnosis. But you're back now. That's the important thing. Alright.
Kind of like how I am sometimes on Oni streams.
Yeah, you've fallen asleep on a few occasions.
Alright. As ever, I'll go around the table. Steve, did you ever see the movie in question? And if so, what are your thoughts about it? And as ever, thoughts on the review?
Never was one who actually saw a lot of any of the Hulk TV movies, but it seems at this point that they were running out of ideas of where to take Hulk on screen, if you ask me. But once again, another good summary, and interesting note with Stanley's cameo there.
Yeah. Funny thing,
because Bill Bixby was directing the movie, when the Hulk was actually going to lift the jury bench up, Bill told Stan, "You got to get off the bench because it's a foot off the ground, so therefore it's considered a stunt." It's like, Bill, I can do my own stunts. Like, yeah, but Stan, we don't have the insurance to cover you for that, so you have to get up. But yeah, that is actually his first official cameo. Because everybody thinks it's X-Men, but nope, this was actually his first ever Marvel cameo. And apparently...
We still miss you, Stan.
We do. We do. Same questions to Lids.
I never had seen this movie before, but I've only seen like reviews. I'm not sure who reviewed this movie, but they were talking about it, and it's like, again, that surprised me. I don't think I got far into the review where I found out that John Rhys Davies was the Kingpin. I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
Holy crap, dude. I was surprised by that. I did not know that John Rhys Davies was Wilson Fisk, but that's a nice little surprise. But other than that, it was a good review. I like how you sprinkled a lot of jokes in there. It's like, I was laughing at the shaving ad. I'm like, I mean, the whole, it's everything but his pants. I'm assuming the beard would be less of an issue, but okay.
Yeah.
But it was a good review all in all. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I kind of, with regards to the gag of, with the transformation scene, I remembered when my brother was covering for the writing notes for Raw during October of 2013, and he was going through like the Wyatt entrance, but doing it in a very Mark Hamill Joker-like voice. And I remember sort of that, and I thought, okay, I can have fun with this. And originally, I was going to have Win going like, "Oh, why my Mr. Hulk?" But I thought, Lids tends to be, I don't want to say provocative, but you tend to be a little bit sassier with these sort of things. And I just remember sort of thinking, how would Lids react? Is like, "Why, hello, Mr. Hulk."
I got no shame.
If I had more time, I would have had Win actually saying, "Oh my," and then everyone else would be like, "Pull up your side," like, "Shut up, Win." Yeah, I mean, I remember the TV movie as a kid. As a kid at the time that enjoyed the TV series. When you have a fresh set of eyes years later, you don't remember. You remember how good it was, but then you watch it as an adult, it's like, oh god, this is bad.
Yeah, I've had those moments. Because other things, but yeah.
The only ones who sell it, Bixby for obvious reasons, Lou because all he has to do is smash things and give non-verbal acting. Rex, you believe him as Murdoch, and John Rhys Davies as Kingpin. It's like, yeah, he's very good, but the rest of the cast is just and the gag with Marta, I was going to include like, give me my award for an Emmy, but I thought, oh, she died. Yeah, don't include that bit. Well, to be fair, I filmed that scene before finding out where it said she was an actress, and I'm like, uh-oh. So it's like, yeah, have it as an outtake, because it's stuff that wouldn't get included, but in the actual final version, it's like, no, don't include that. I mean, yes, be critical of her acting, because, well, you saw her acting. It was not anything to write home about, but I just thought on that bit, like, mocking her acting is just like, no, cut that out. Because there's always that fine line, you can be critical and say, even though the person's not there, you can still say the acting was terrible. But to go and sort of further mock it, it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Raider, did you see the review at all?
As a matter of fact, I did a little bit of it.
I'll show. When we go off air, we'll get, we'll watch that one again with you, and you can just sort of, get.
Okay.
Well, I don't like you to feel left out, man, because it's like with Oni, you're my brother from another mother,
Thanks, bro.
That's all right. You all right though? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine, man.
Okay, cool. So like I say, we'll do that one for Raiden after we go off the air, because it's only fair. Since Raiden is here,
oh boy,
we're gonna go have fun in a moment.
boy.
And the first 3 words I'm gonna hear out of Lid's mouth is, "Ah, hell no!"
Oh no!
Would Christian?
Ah, hell no!
Would Kristen Stewart play the Joker in a Batman film?
What the
Can
fuck?
Answer that! No!
Warner Brothers, what the heck have you been smoking?
Will we see Stewart as Joker opposite Robert Pattinson's Batman movie? Probably not. Let's do something new, she says. Following a social media campaign to cast the Spencer star, I have several questions over that casting, as the clown prince of crime alongside her Twilight co-star and ex-boyfriend Pattison in an upcoming film from the Batman universe, Variety asked Stewart if she would ever consider playing the famous villain. I love the energy behind that. On her way to an Academy event to promote her work as Princess Diana in Neon Spencer, from director Paolo Larin. It's really being done so well. I feel like maybe we don't trapeze over it. I love that gusto. Let's figure something else out. I'm totally down to playing a freaky, scary person. Asked if it was a definite no, Stewart says, not no, but not the most stoked I've ever been. Let's do something new. Okay, not my favourite actress, but I do agree with that sentiment. Let's not go and, tread over something that's been done before. Multiple actors have played or voiced the Joker, the arch nemesis of Batman, including Jack Nicholson, Jared Leto, and Mark Hamill. The late Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix won the Academy Awards for their portrayals of the Clown Prince of Crime in The Dark Knight and the Joker, respectively. Starring alongside Pattison in the Twilight films, but this social media chatter doesn't seem to be leading to any casting at the moment. The 31-year-old actor has plenty on her schedule to keep her busy. Spencer debuted at Venice and Telluride, where Stewart received critical acclaim for her fictional interpretation of Princess Diana. At the moment, Stewart is the only contender who would be the first-time nominee and is in the lead on Variety's Oscar predictions chart for Best Actress, ahead of Jessica Chastain, Olivia Colman, very good actress by the way, Penelope Cruz. What are you taking, girl? Because you just don't age. And Frances McDormand. There are other possible contenders that could factor in, but other movies haven't been widely seen yet, such as Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, Nicole Kidman, Anna Haim, Jennifer Lawrence, and Rachel Zegler. Besides being a guest on an upcoming episode of Variety Awards Circuit podcast, she also just wrapped up on the next David Cronenberg film, Crimes of the Future, with other anticipated projects coming down the pike. Alright, I'll be objective with this. It's like she said, she's not saying no, but she's definitely not saying yes, because it requires energy and that right sort of physical performance. Because with Joker, it's not just the dialogue. If you look at Nicholson, Ledger, there's a lot of physical acting behind that. So with regards to that, I would have to, and that's like I say, I don't like her as an actress or as a person, but at least she's being diplomatic about it. If they ever were to cast her as the Joker, to echo Lid's, oh hell no. We don't need that. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Let's go nuts.
Okay. First of all, my first statement was very clear. Hell no. Do not do that kind of bullshit. If we wanted to gender bend the Joker, wait a minute. Are we doing a Flashpoint thing where Robert Pattinson isn't playing Bruce Wayne, but he's playing Thomas Wayne, which would make no freaking sense?
Exactly.
And also, Kristen Stewart, I'm sorry, I've seen trailers of Spencer, and it's like, they're trying, but I have my... Okay? You're trying. But Kristen Stewart would not... Like, she's got the freaking acting range of a wet piece of toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's a lovely image.
Yeah, which means she's limp and has zero emotion. I'm sorry, I've seen trailers of Spencer, and she's all like, she seems fine at first, but if you look at it carefully, she's doing the same thing. And no, I do not want this. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm still kind of a little bent about her being Bella Swan. I think a lot of us are. I know she's done a lot of other things, but
it left a bitter taste in everybody's mouths.
Yes.
It did, especially since she played basically a sociopath who didn't give a crap about what she wanted as long as she got what she wanted. And what she wanted was apparently... I'm not going to say this out loud because reasons. But the point is, no. None of us want this. Nobody wants this bullshit. So, what I do respect is that she said no. Good for you. Just stay as far away from any comic book related acting roles, because you can't pull it off. We don't need another fucking Brie Larson, okay? Okay.
My turn?
So, Stephen?
What is it with these Hollywood reporters trying to put those two together again? Twilight is over. It's done.
Yep.
Stop living in the past, people. And I can't top what Liz has said in terms of Kristen Stewart. It's like, having working in a cinema for a couple of weeks now, I've seen the Spencer trailer so many times I lost count at this point. But again, like Liz said, she's trying, but again, she just doesn't have enough expression.
Nope.
With a character like the Joker, it's all about the expression. For anyone who plays the Joker, it has to have a lot of energy, manic. He's manic, way.
Yep.
And Kristen Stewart just doesn't have that.
Nope. Raiden.
Oh my god. Alright, man. Listen. I'll give respect where respect is due. She doesn't want to do it now, but I don't understand what is up with Hollywood just to put her in a lot of stuff that people don't want her in. Like, first things first, we didn't want her to be in Twilight. Well, first thing. Well, to be honest with you, we didn't really know her-ish. Well, aside from watching that old-ass movie, Catch That Kid, that's where we first saw her. I saw her the first time. But, yeah. We didn't want her in Twilight. We got her anyway. Still know to this day. Got her in that really, really shitty Snow White movie. Thank God she was only one movie. And we got her in that really, really crappy Charlie's Angels reboot. So, the fact that people want her in a DC movie, especially when they're on a roll lately, especially after DC fandom. So, you really want to destroy that universe again with putting her in it? Yeah, that's a no. Yeah, that's a no es bueno for me, man. No es bueno. So yeah, like I said, I give respect where respect's due. He doesn't want to do it. But on the other hand, let's just no, just no. No, Kristen Stewart introducing DC franchise. Just no. Let Twilight die, goddammit. That's what I gotta say. Let Twilight die.
Please.
Sean probably got the best answer for it. We already got a female Joker. Her name is Harley Quinn.
Ah!
Ah, yes. Alright. I'll do one more article, and I think we will indefinitely get to the next review. And there's going to be a whole bunch of yes chants, not only from me, but from Lids and Raiden, because MovieWeb have said what we're all thinking. Die Hard is a Christmas movie whether you like it or not.
Yes.
Amen.
Back to that. A deep dive into the beloved action film Die Hard proves it's also a Christmas classic. It's no question that Die Hard hits all the marks of a classic action film. It has a fantastic cast, including Alan Rickman's breakout role. He was literally only in Hollywood for 2 weeks and he got the part. Dynamite script and non-stop bullets and explosions from start to finish. It sparked one of the most successful franchises in history and made Bruce Willis the go-to action star. At the same time, Die Hard also created a 30-year debate of whether or not it is a Christmas movie. It is, change my mind. Although there are skeptics, if you look closely at the cinematic elements of Die Hard, it is undoubtedly a Christmas movie. The imagery, the music and themes of all point to Christmas. The heart of the film is based around a family coming together for the holidays. Many have argued that Die Hard is just an action movie that happens to take place on Christmas Eve. They would be wrong. Both the screenwriter and director have clearly stated that Die Hard is most definitely a Christmas film. Today, we jump headfirst into Die Hard to finally prove that it is a classic Christmas movie. How Die Hard became an action film set on Christmas Eve. Like so many Hollywood screenplays, Die Hard is a story with vast origins that went through many changes before the final product. What many people may not know is that Die Hard was inspired by Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Okay. Originally it was set to take place over 3 days, but director John McTiernan envisioned Die Hard as a Shakespearean tale and decided that it would take place in one night. At the same time, McTiernan was convinced that the story of evil terrorists carrying out a violent heist was missing something. That something was heart. Thus, McTiernan decided to incorporate Christmas as a major part of the film to make Die Hard what it is today. Die Hard is filled with Christmas imagery and music. Christmas plays perfectly into the story of Die Hard. A man travels across the country to visit his family for the holidays. A group of co-workers are having a lavish Christmas party in a Los Angeles skyscraper. These are all important plot points that would not exist if it wasn't for Christmas being the heart and soul of the film. The audiences see Hollywood imagery from start to finish, including a dead terrorist wearing a Santa hat with "Ho, ho, ho" written on his chest. Just looking at that scenery, one would have to say that Die Hard is certainly a Christmas movie, with a few more bullets. Of course, you can't have a Christmas movie without the music. Well, Die Hard has you covered. The soundtrack consists of classics including remixes of Winter Wonderland, Jingle Bells, and Let It Snow, Let It Snow. And I think they even had a Christmas track from Run DMC on there. Die Hard is about family coming together for the holidays. What Die Hard has that so many other action movies lack is interesting characters dealing with complicated issues that go well beyond being held hostage by a group of terrorists. John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, is a New York City cop who travels to LA to visit his family on Christmas Eve. His wife, Holly Gennaro, played by Bonnie Bedelia, is a successful executive who he hasn't seen in some time. There are obviously bigger issues going on within the failing marriage. Fortunately, there's no better way to get back the love of your life than to single-handedly rescue her and her entire office from a group of sadistic criminals. Mr. Takaki didn't make it. Mr. Nakatomi, that's it. Sorry, excuse me. In the end, she falls back into the arms of her husband, and the two live happily ever after. Yeah, about that. Die Hard 4, yeah, they were divorced. This may be thanks to the courage and charm of John McClane, but one could argue that it's also thanks to the spirit of Christmas and coming together for the holidays. And to Alan Rickman's character is also, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. What the actors and filmmakers have to say about the debate. Director John McTiernan and screenwriter Stephen E. D'Souza, Knight Rider alumni, have both stated that Die Hard is unquestionably a Christmas movie. Who better to take the word of than these two? From the early drafts of the script, McTiernan deserves the credit for persistently incorporating Christmas motifs throughout the film to give it the charm and heart that that makes Die Hard beloved by so many. D'Souza has been vocal in interviews and on Twitter that Die Hard hits every mark on the list to prove that it is a Christmas film, even stating on Twitter that it is more of a Christmas movie than Winter Wonderland. Unfortunately, John McClane himself has said otherwise. At the end of his Comedy Central roast, Bruce Willis declared in epic fashion, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Sadly, that's all the audience got out of him on the subject. The debate may never be officially settled. The simple fact that people still discuss the film to this day is all the proof one needs to crown Die Hard as one of the best action movies of all time. When you dive deep into the film, it's undeniable that it wouldn't exist without the spirit of Christmas. The best part about the Christmas movie is that it can be enjoyed all year round. And to my answer saying this article saying that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, hallelujah. Someone who sees sense. And I can't fault the argument, and even Aaron Izzo says, of course it is, and so is the second one.
I'm right.
So, yeah, I've got nothing to add to that, and as far as I'm concerned, MovieWeb has settled the argument. It's imagine like it's like you get one of your co-workers where Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, you suddenly open the door with a very stern look. We're going to be having very stern words right now.
Like, what?
And then Raiden just very creepily just starts rising above the counter. I'm sorry, did you order an extra serving of L's today? And then only pops in, who said Die Hard's not a Christmas movie? Like, oh shit.
Get him!
So yeah, I got nothing to add to that. Steve, thoughts?
Not much more I can say. It's a Christmas movie, whether others say it or not. And I know I had that argument with a few of my work colleagues before. But it is a Christmas movie.
So there.
Ah.
Raiden?
Absolutely. For what it's worth, hold on, I want to get a little bit more context here.
Sure.
I mean, yes, Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie. It's been debated for years at this point, and it's now canon. So, aha.
Lids, I've saved you for last because I know you have a lot to say for that, so I hand you your roasting of choice. Go nuts.
Okay, so you people think that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Proof is otherwise, because it is definitely a Christmas movie. The obvious symbolism of every single other Christmas movie that doesn't involve blood or violence is there. So you can't convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. And also, Bruce Willis saying it's not a Christmas movie. Your opinion doesn't matter anymore, considering your fact you're an anti-vaxxer. So go fuck yourself, okay? Okay. But other than that, it's a Christmas movie. You can't convince me otherwise. So.
Alrighty. Right. Now, we'll show the conclusion of the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV movies.
Oh boy.
Yep, definitely take 2.
Take 2.
I'm at 0.
I'm at 0.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm at 0.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Well.
Raiden says ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, play. You know, there's a rare occurrence in TV and film where all the loose ends are tied up. We call this closure. When you consider from the likes of the Batman series that was cancelled after the infamous Batman and Robin, to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man series and to the Fantastic Four from the mid-2000s, they had no sense of closure. One of the few that has this distinct honour is the Dark Knight trilogy that ran from 2005 to 2012, in which we saw Bruce Wayne's journey and end with him passing the baton to John Blake after saving Gotham from the remnants of the League of Shadows. And that brings us to this 1990 telefilm, The Death of the Incredible Hulk, in which Bill Bixby makes his final appearance as Dr. David Banner, ending the story of the TV series that began in 1978. So I have to ask this question. Has this held up over the last 31 years, or will this be another case of Hulk sad? Let's find out as we witness the death of the Incredible Hulk. The story follows the formula that we know from the TV series, with Banner working under an assumed name, doing mundane work as a means of cover while he attempts to find a cure for his affliction. This movie has a similar plot to 1988's Return of the Incredible Hulk, where David seems to be onto a strong possibility of a cure, as he had been studying Dr. Pratt's research that could yield results, as the research seemed to be similar to what he had been studying in 1978, where he was looking for hidden strength, whereas Pratt was looking for the healing power. The first transformation comes within the first 6 minutes, and I suppose this was a means of trying to quell the criticism from the last movie, as there was a major lack of Hulk. And it's what you'd expect. David is trying to mind his own business, gets assaulted and bursts out of his shirt, and then proceeds to lay waste to a couple of heavies that'd make WWE's Mean Street Posse look credible. With this movie, the overarching plot is of David sneaking into Dr. Ronald Pratt's lab at night and correcting his research with the healing formula, hoping that it may hold the key to ridding himself of his gamma-powered alter ego. The other good part of this main plot is the bonding David has with the Pratts, him being accepted as a surrogate son whilst they prepared to run tests on the Hulk after Ronald persuaded David that he would be able to contain the creature. This leads to the second Hulk out, with the Pratt bewildered at what they witnessed, which later follows a similar feeling. Wonder how David awkward witnesses Lou the felt Playbook just video. posing like that. This is the first time David has actually seen the creature. There was the dream sequence from Season 2's Married, but for canon purposes, this doesn't count, and it could be put up to David imagining what the Hulk would look like. The subplot is of Yasmin working as a spy for a Russian espionage company.
Oh goody,
trying to
Cold
steal
War
Ronald
references, that
Research
hasn't
into
aged
healing.
well.
I suppose it adds that proverbial wrench in the works, but it slows the pacing down and really serves no point to the plot other than to hinder David's quest to cure himself of his troubles. But then, it wouldn't be a Hulk TV story if Banner didn't have his chances of peace and salvation hindered. Just like in the 90s animated series, right when Banner was on the verge of realizing peace within himself, he gets the rug pulled out from underneath him. But the rest of the movie just sees David abandoning his quest for a cure, and instead, he and Yasmin look to help Ronald out of his coma and then rescuing him and his wife Amy from Ashenko and her cronies. The bonding of David and Yasmin provides some pleasant filler, and it allows Banner to feel love for the first time since the death of his fellow scientist, Elena, from the TV pilot in 1978. This sees the first love scene in the Hulk TV series canon, and I was surprised to see this get past the PG-13 censors, as this is not exactly something you'd have in a family show, which for all intents and purposes the TV series was. These days, you would get discreet and subtle uses, as seen in 2008's Iron Man, after Tony Stark had invited a reporter back to his Malibu beach house, with a score that was clearly inspired by James Bond. It was never done to the effect of seeing two characters in bed sharing said love scene, so for 1990 standards, this was ballsy. The death of Hulk and Banner is handled with a lot of grace and humility. For 12 years, he had been a seemingly invincible force of power, now reduced to a being humbled by a fall, and despite what I may think of the bloated subplot, the ending is done with such grace and tenderness. I suppose from one angle you could make the argument that it's closure in some sense, that David got his wish of peace, but I think the character, as well as the audience, would have appreciated it under better context. So, it's a bittersweet ending to a man's blight. In his final appearance as the fugitive scientist on the run with a gamma-powered affliction, he gives a great performance of a man with hope in his eyes, realizing he is closer than before at realizing a cure and salvation for an experiment that went wrong 12 years prior. The way he delivers his last line ever,
"Loves me. I am free."
as he was slipping away,
damn.
and turned back after a fatal fall to where Banner
Sold
realizes
it.
his salvation and freedom after being cursed for so many years, was heartbreaking. So many people had seen the character suffer after that iconic pilot episode in 1978, and to see David slip away was a bittersweet closure for the character. Lou was used more than the previous telefilm, which I suppose in hindsight was good when you realise that this would be his last appearance as the character in a movie. I really liked his portrayal as Ronald. He comes across as logical, sincere, and genuine concern for David's condition, and being assertive in that he has to see Banner's transformation for himself, as he knows that David wants this cure badly. Barbara is a good supporting player with great chemistry with Philip as his wife, and almost acting as a surrogate mother to Banner in the way that Ronald had acted as a surrogate father figure to him. Okay, I appreciate that this was operating
prepared
under
for
a
cringe.
TV budget and that you have to be selective with whom you cast due to financial reasons. I understand. But surely, they could have cast someone else rather than an actress with acting and emotional range of a wet dishcloth. Look, folks, I'm gonna be real here. Grayson was just awful as Yasmin, particularly the way she delivers her line of,
David, don't die. We could be free.
Dude, what the hell?
Look, folks, what can I say?
That was
That
bad.
delivery had no conviction
Wow.
or substance. I think about the only highlight for some viewers is
Like,
that she shared
shed
a
a
love scene
tear
with
of
Banner.
blood, damn it.
Banner plays Yasmin's sister, who turns out to be the
Emote.
mysterious
Damn
Ashenko
it.
that is
Emote.
forcing her sister to
It's
do
like
spy
watching-
assignments
it's like
against her will.
watching a bad
And just
soap
like her
opera.
on-screen sister, she has about as much acting depth
And
and
I've
range
seen
of
some
a
bad
goldfish.
ones, but at least they
Well,
can
folks,
actually kind
it's
of
like
emote.
this. When you have the
I know,
combined
right?
acting
I've seen bad
capabilities
telenovelas
of both Megan Fox and Tia
that act
Leone,
better than this lady.
you're setting yourself up for failure. I feel like the only decent effects are when the Hulk outs occur and to seeing him smash through the walls during the first transformation. The white contacts still look impressive, and it helps that Bill really sells it with his facial expressions. The visual effect of the laser used on Banner during the experiment looks really cheap, even for 90s standards. When the effects used on the original Knight Rider whenever Kit would fire his laser look more convincing, then as ever, we're setting ourselves up for failure. Because that was tech from 1982 and this is a movie 8 years later. The explosion of the small charter plane looks cheap behind Lou after it's implied the Hulk jumped free in time. The score for this flick is mostly irritating by Lance Rubin. The only mildly redeemable pieces would be the romantic exchanges between Banner and Yasmin, and the first encounter between Banner and Ronald when he catches Banner helping him with his research. The ending theme, Something Ends, which was performed by Chris Ford, is somewhat flat, but it does provide a very somber and moving moment when it's realized for the characters and the audience that this is it for the Hulk. However, the close-up of Hulk as he's falling to the ground with this bewildered look on his face makes it difficult to take it seriously as you end up laughing rather than crying. In such a sad and touching moment when we see the Hulk and Banner at the end of their lives, with this emotional exchange between Banner and Yasmin as he slowly slips away. Just like every episode of the TV series, the final moment of the movie is scored to the Lonely Man theme, which has more of a sad and somber meaning than ever now, that his journey was done.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
The movie would have seen a follow-up with The Revenge of the Incredible Hulk, with Banner now being revived and free of his curse, and even incorporating that the Hulk would have Banner's mind. Iron Man was also being considered. Now, try to picture an Iron Man suit in a telefilm back in the early 90s.
Yeah, no.
Death of the Incredible Hulk would have featured the introduction of the She-Hulk, just as the previous two movies had featured Thor and Daredevil. This would have seen Bridget Nielsen playing the Jade Green Amazon with a cape. Let that image sink in.
How about no?
I'd rather not.
The sequel was cancelled due to the disapproving ratings for the death of the Incredible Hulk. As mentioned earlier, this was the final appearance of Bill Bixby as Dr. David Banner, as he would succumb to cancer after slipping into a coma and never waking up. He passed away on November 21, 1993. He was 59 years young. Bill Bixby remains to this day the most iconic portrayal of Dr. Banner, of which Marvel producer Kevin Feige saw Edward Norton as being a modern-day version of Bill Bixby.
The movie has been enjoyed on TV, VHS, and DVD since 1990. I'm MJ Knight, and we witnessed the death of the Incredible Hulk. These days, you would see discrete uses as seen in 2008's Iron Man, where Tony Stark invited a reporter back to his Malibu beach house with a... Hulk don't like bloopers, I'm well aware. Hulk want to go have fun with Yasmin. Nope, none of that. Okay. The name's Stark. Tony Stark. License to quip. Your mission 00 Stark, should you accept it, go a whole movie without being a savage. Oh, Jarvis, you know I can't do that. Yes, I know, sir. And your mission, should you accept it, take Win the Rogue out for a date, and there's when like, Tony Stark? He just looks like, oh please, I do not act like that. Raiden. Really? Lids? Mm-hmm. Steven. Don't get me involved in this. Tony, what am I doing here for? I'm supposed to be on Twitch. I'm gonna go buy more bits. Usually that's my job. Oh yeah, that's right. Steve, say a pun. Crime and punishment? 500 bits! Really? I can make it 50,000.
Jesus!
I know you watch it like, it's like...
Only's not that mean when it comes to bit charging.
Okay. Ooh, very posh, very sophisticated. I'm the incredible, sophisticated posh Hulk. Ooh, look at me, I've torn my tux again. Ooh, I'll just have to get Mr. Fix-It's suit again. I have to press and iron that up and go look all swanky around the town. It's like,
This is an image now of a camp Hulk.
Like, oh, heck no, dude, I don't sound like that. And there's Raiden like, ooh, the eloquent, sophisticated Hulk. Going round the town, smashing it up. Go in and disrupts Oni's live stream on Twitch. It's the grey and sophisticated Grey Hulk. It's not bad.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh God, no.
Dude, that's something I don't want to say.
That's terrifying.
Refined the credits a little bit, so it's using the space a little bit more effectively, and it's not taking as long now. Okay, clearly I'm going to have to refine something. That's not supposed to go like that. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, quick look in the comments section. Oh, Aaron says the movie literally takes place during an office Christmas party. Stephen, same 3 questions from last time. Do you ever remember seeing the TV movie? What are your thoughts on it years later, if applicable, and thoughts on the review?
Once again, another one of the Marvel TV films that I never saw growing up, so not much to say on that. And again, very solid.
Thank you. Raiden?
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'd like the review. To be honest with you, I definitely remember watching the Incredible Hulk series, but never the movies. I definitely remember when I was at a friend's house a few years back, and I saw like a first VHS of the Incredible Hulk movie, not the death of Incredible Hulk. But yeah, for what it's worth, it looks cool. I mean, oh God, that wooden ass acting that Yasmin chick did. What the fuck?
I mean, here's the thing. I didn't go mentioning this, but you can understand why I said this. Her only credentials up to that point was being a Playboy playmate.
Oh, that explains things.
Here's the thing. It's not to say that models can't be actresses. I mean, just look at Kate Beckinsale and Mia Jovovich. They started out as models, but they went on to have very reasonably good acting careers. Kate Beckinsale especially, she's very good.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich is kind of hit or miss for me, especially with the Resident Evil movies. So I'm like,
it's a Megan Fox situation. Give her the material that complements her acting, and it works. And last but never least, Lids, same 3 questions to you.
I mean, I've actually never seen this. I thought like I'd heard of it, but it's like I thought it would maybe it's like the ending is because I've never seen it before. I thought the ending was like that David got the cure and now he's just free of the Hulk and he doesn't have to be the Hulk anymore. I didn't think he'd actually died at the end of the movie, so okay, that's kind of sad. But again, it's I honestly never seen it before, and the review was very good. You did a very good job again. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I remember watching this years ago. I think the first time I literally only saw like the last 10 minutes where the death actually took place, and then like all these years later, watching it through. I'm sorry, but Elizabeth Grayson was just awful. Especially that, like, don't die. I'm like, oh, come on, are you for real?
Mom, damn it!
I kind of got the reaction I was sort of half expected, where you're like, oh, hell no! But yeah, unless there comes up with more live action movies in the future, because I don't have any plans to review Hulk versus, because I think that can be saved for another time. But for all intents and purposes, this is Hulktober done. I mean, someone could say, you didn't review the 2003 as part of it. I reviewed it in January 2020. The only reason, that was part of the reason why Hulktober exists, because I thought, well, there's a few TV Hulk movies out there that, that could be reviewed, and I thought, okay, let's go and review these. And like I say, Bix, I mean, only from what you're seeing in clips, Bix was the only one who was selling it. But that's just how good of an actor he was. And also, that laser, I appreciate it's 1990, but that looked nasty. And it's like I say, when you see Hulk descending down towards the camera, you're laughing more than crying. It's just like, I know this is really meant to be a really emotional and sad scene, but I'm laughing. Because he's almost got this look as if to say, I don't know, it's like he farted or something.
No, it looks like the reverse of looks like T-Rocket's blasting off again.
But yeah, I know, as you say, there was a few more gags slipped into this one because I just started saying how I felt about certain things because it just needed to be done. It's one of those things where I look back at it now, maybe I was looking back at it with nostalgia goggles because there are some charming, redeeming qualities of it, but the rest of it, it's as Steve said, it was running low on ideas of what they could do with it, and the idea that they were even thinking about Iron Man for a sequel on a 90s TV budget, it's like, no. That wouldn't happen.
That would be cringy as hell.
If it was an animated TV movie, okay. There's a certain level that you can get around with that, but I don't know. We know now with movie, if it had been an Iron Man suit in a live action movie in the 90s, you'd probably get away with it more in the latter part of the 90s, but early 90s, no. Because, I'm sorry, it's either the tech wasn't there, or it was there, but it wasn't advanced enough, because they didn't, show anything convincing enough for a live-action Iron Man suit until the first movie. So, yeah. And in the next few weeks, when we resume Turtle-vember, it's the Michael Bay era.
Oh dear. The decade of Bayhem.
Yep.
Why do you? When I look back at those movies, why is it too bad? And look at the bright side. At least produced those. If he directed those, we would have gotten those nasty ass alien turtle designs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, I mean, yeah, what they did with the Foot Clan in the first movie, still disgusting. But the bright side is this: no disrespect to William Fichtner, I feel like he's a really great actor, and I really find him hilarious in Mom. But yeah, people were really scared that he was going to be Shredder. But at least what we got is was also, yes, the turtles were freakishly large, but they still retained their personalities.
Just Mikey was more Mikey than usual.
Of course,
he was extra Mikey.
Of course, and I like what they did with Raph. I mean, yes, he was the tough dude, but in hindsight, he was compassionate. I mean, yes, you can compare Mikey and Raph as compassionate, but when you have a tomboy attitude like Raph does, he has the feelings. Like, who cannot forget the first live action movie?
Yeah.
To be all honest, those movies were okay. They let's get one thing perfectly clear. They did Casey Jones dirty in those movies. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Oh God, Steven could do so much better.
I agree. I totally agree. When I heard he was being cast for Casey, I was like, okay. But on the bright side with that, at least he had a more upbeat attitude and had a sense for justice and more hero.
That'll give him that. Yeah, he seemed like he was having more fun with this. It's like he was actually being allowed to cut loose instead of being, I'm Oliver Queen.
Yeah, well, but the cool thing about Steven now, from what I've heard, his series Heels on Stars, I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least the cool thing about that, he's showing more range instead of just like the Batman light.
Yeah.
That should never be in a sentence, since they really jocked Batman style during Arrow so many times. Like, come on, listen. They got the origins right of him being stranded on an island, but god damn, did you have to just use so much Batman related bullshit?
Yeah.
Sean saying.
Oh yeah, we're talking. Yeah.
Sean says the Bay TMN2Vs ain't that bad. It could have been a lot worse than what we got, which is basically what we were just saying.
I agree.
All right. We're going to call it a day, folks, because we are supposed to be trying to keep to a 2-hour format, and we've gone 45 minutes over that. But, hey, it is what it is. Just a reminder, for the next 2 Sundays, starting Halloween night and the first Sunday of November, Sunday Night Live will be back at the previous time of 9 p.m. in the evening UK time. Just for those 2 weeks. It's just whilst I've got time off. But after those 2 weeks, it will be back to 6 in the evening again, because, I gotta work around my schedule. That's because this is what we were having discussions with when I broke the news to my fellow co-host that it wouldn't be possible for me to go streaming at 9 because I'd be at work later. So, we found a happy medium by going 3 hours earlier. So that's the happy medium we've struck. And like I say, just for the next fortnight, it's back at the previous time, and anytime I get time off, we will revert back to that. But that's just like a small treat. You play the cards you're dealt. So, on that note, until Halloween night, this is MJ Knight saying good night from the night, and thank you for joining us.
Woo! Have a good night.
And don't forget to check out MJ Knight's Teespring page.
Thank you, Stephen, and don't forget to check out my Shutterstock page. Also buy Kaiju Noir's comic and go over to twitch.tv/Onirakaku, not Onirakaku Tarrison Joker. I'm going to get hell for that later. And give him in one evening 2 million bits. Liz, I have 2 million bits. What should I do? Buy me die-cast Pokemon balls and buy me a year's worth of Dominoes. Yes, I will do as you command. And Liz is like, don't tease me. Don't tease me.
Don't give me that kind of power.
Liz, you now have power and authority over Onirakaku. Right then! He's gonna listen later, like...
Again, don't give me that kind of power.
And there's Raid, like, rubbing his hands. Do it. Do it.
Help Oni gather the Dragon Balls.
How does that make sense?
Dragon Balls.
Because it's Dragon Ball logic.
Oh, dear. Alright, folks. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
That's all, folks.